Hello and welcome to this session everyone. My name is Yogesh Mehta. In last session on Docker Swarm we have talked about Docker Swarm basics. This session we will be talking about Docker Swarm cluster creation and management. Though this we already discussed in last session, I want to repeat again. Swarm is native clustering for the Docker. When the Docker engine runs in Swarm mode, manager node implements the Raft Consensus Algorithm to manage the global cluster state. The reason why Swarm mode is using a consensus algorithm is to make sure that all the manager nodes that are in charge of managing the and scheduling tasks in the cluster are storing the same consistent state. In our lab setup, we are going to create a Swarm cluster with single manager and 2 worker nodes. Operating system, which I got on my virtual system, that's CentOS 7.3 64-bit, and they are on Vagrant. Basically, Vagrant is using VirtualBox, and everything is hosted on my VMware machine. You can think of 3 virtual layers. The manager node name is manager. It got IP address 192.168.1.100. The worker node 1 name is node-1. Its IP is ending with 101. Worker node 2 node name is node-2. IP address is ending with 102. To create a cluster, you can't use a Docker standard image. Basically, you have to use a Docker engine. The prerequisite, you need Docker engine 1.12 or the later. We are going to install CE, which is basically community engine. There are 2 types of engines of Docker. One is community engine, second is enterprise engine. So I'm going to use community engine for this demo. You can import the repository. You can see on my screen this particular step. This will import repo. After that, you can do the yum install docker-ce -y is for yes. Then you can start the service. Then you have to enable the service so that after every reboot, the Docker engine automatically gets started. Other prerequisite is you need a static IP address of manager machine. I will prefer all machine have static IP address. Next prerequisite, network connectivity between all nodes and manager. So you need to make sure the manager as well as all nodes can communicate with each other. That's a main requirement. After that, few network ports need to be open. Port number 2377 TCP. That port would be used for cluster management communications. TCP and UDP over port 7946. This port will be used for communication among these Swarm nodes. Then UDP port 4789 for overlay network traffic. In my lab setup, I got firewall disabled. So I'm not explicitly enabling the port communication because that is not required. I got firewall disabled. But in production, you need to make sure you get these port opens so that Docker Swarm can work. So let's quickly perform these prerequisite tasks. Then we will go to the next slide where I will talk about Docker Swarm initialization. So let me open my putty session quickly. Okay, you can see on my screen this is manager node, this is node 1, and this is node 2. So we got putty session activated. So first thing, we have to import the repo on all the nodes. If you got some automation like Ansible, you can use that. Otherwise, like that simple way, you can just copy paste the commands across all 3 nodes. So this will import the repo. After that, we have to install Docker community engine. For that, simply yum install space docker-ce space -y. Press enter. Let me do this step on all 3 nodes. That's around 20-30 MB image, which may take some time to download. Okay, guys, you can see on screen Docker Community Engine installation is finished. On Manager, let's check on Node 1. It's good, it's done, and Node 2 is also done. So we are good. So now next thing we have to start the Docker service. So service name is Docker. It's not docker-c. So systemctl start Docker, then systemctl enable Docker. So automatically it gets started after the instance boot. Okay, let's do it on nodes now. Nodes are basically workers. When I use term node, that's worker. The manager node is manager. It acts as worker by default. So we are good. So our prerequisite task, next thing to verify whether firewall is running. As I mentioned, I have already disabled firewall D. You can see on screen firewall is disabled. In case you are running this in production setup, even in development setup, make sure you only allow the rules which I mentioned during theory. Don't disable firewall. So let's check connectivity between the servers. I'm on node 2. Let me ping IP address of manager node. Okay, it's reachable. Let me ping 101, which is node 1. We are good. So there is connectivity between the manager and the workers. So that's good. Let me come to next slide where I can tell you how to initialize the Docker swarm. Okay, to create a swarm. After the installation, which we already did, next step is to enable the swarm mode. Swarm is not a separate software. It's a part of Docker Community Engine, and by default it is disabled. So you have to initialize it so swarm capabilities can be enabled. To create a new swarm, run the below command on the manager node. Make sure you are running this command on manager node only, because that node is going to act as manager, whatever the node name it got. So docker space swarm space init dash dash advertise dash address, then the manager IP. Pick IP which got connectivity with other nodes, which is going to be your network channel to communicate. This command switches the current node into swarm mode and create a new swarm. On the node where the swarm init is done, that node is designated as manager node, and it starts on listening on the advertise IP address over port 2377, which is for communication among cluster members. With the swarm init, by default, it generates the token for worker and manager nodes to join the swarm. You can regenerate token if you want. If you don't copy, or you miss to copy those tokens, I will explain that in next slide. So our swarm init is done. Next step will be to add the nodes in the swarm cluster. For that, you have to run command docker swarm join dash dash token. The token here you will get with this command. When you initialize swarm, it will give you a token. Then the manager IP over port 2377. The nodes will join the swarm cluster. You have to repeat this command on both the nodes, or how many nodes you got. Then you can check the cluster status with docker info, docker node ls, docker node inspect node dash dash pretty. I will discuss these things in practical session. So let me open putty session again quickly. Okay, I'm on manager node. Let me do clear screen on everything. So you can easily see what I'm doing now. Okay, so on this node, I got 2-3 network interfaces, 2 interfaces, eth0, eth1. eth1 is the interface which got connectivity with other nodes. So I'm going to pick this one for my Docker connectivity. So first of all, I need to do Docker swarm init. So Docker space swarm, then init and advertised IP. What does advertised IP mean? Because we are going to use this particular IP, that is not default IP. So you can put advertise IP like advertise address. This is the address. Otherwise, Docker will pick automatically one default IP, which may be not one which you are thinking to use. So guys, our swarm init is done. You can see swarm initialized, current node, this particular node ID. Swarm automatically gives every node a ID which would be unique, is now a manager. So this node is a manager now. And this is the token. To add a worker means we have to add our nodes as worker in this cluster. To add a worker to this swarm, run the following command. So we have to just copy paste this command. So now let me tell you something about Docker commands which are important to know before I get the workers added into cluster. So guys, first command is docker info. I'm sure you are familiar with this command, but in swarm mode there are a few extra attributes. So let me show those. When I run docker info, it tells, okay, container, right now no container is running, that's fine, no images. We know this is fresh cluster. And if you see here, swarm is active. So on this particular machine, swarm mode is active now. And is manager true? Because we are running command on this machine and it is acting as manager. So it's true. This is the node ID which would be unique. This is the cluster ID. And right now it got one manager, one node. As I mentioned in theory, manager node also acts as a worker node. So nodes and worker nodes, they are interchangeable terms. So we are only got one system, and that is acting as manager as well as node. So these are the other things which you can see, like how much memory system got, what is the Docker root dir, whether debug is set to false or true. So these are the basic things which you can refer. And let me run docker info ls. This tells, docker node ls. It will tell the node status in the cluster. You can see this is the ID, this is the hostname manager. It is ready. Ready mean it's active. Availability active. What availability mean? That's something I'm going to cover in next slide. But active mean this node is active as a worker. Manager status is leader. So this node is manager and acting as a leader. As I mentioned, in a cluster you can have multiple managers. So only one node will be leader. One manager can be a leader, not multiple. So this is acting as a leader. Okay, so that's good. Let's get our nodes to join this cluster. So I'm going to node 1. I used command which we got in this particular step. If you don't remember, like this particular command, I have just copy pasted the command. So this node join the swarm cluster as a worker. Repeating same command. So this node also joined as a worker. That's good. So let's do node ls now. You can see node 1, node 2. Both are ready, means communication is happening. Availability is active. Both workers are active, and leader is blank. It means they are not leader, they are only worker. So that's good. It means we have initialized the swarm, we have created manager, and after that we have added 2 nodes into our swarm cluster. So far things looks good. Another command I want to tell you, which is docker node inspect, and the node name, let's say we want to inspect node 1, and if you don't specify any option, that is going to give you output in JSON format. You can see on my screen, which is that's not difficult to read, but it will make more sense if you get pretty output. You have to use option pretty. With that one, it will give you some in good form. ID is this one. This is node 1. It joined the cluster at this time. Status is ready. Availability is active. This is the IP address. Operating system is Linux. 64-bit. 1 CPU, 500 MB RAM. You can see I'm just running this particular machine with 500 MB RAM, and I'm quite happy with the performance for a lab system. And this is the Docker engine version 17.06, and CE mean community engine. This is the certificates, trust root, and this is the issuer, and this is the public key. So in that way, you can get information about a node. Okay, that's good. So let's go to next slide. As I mentioned, we have copied the token which was generated when we initialize a swarm. So how if we forgot to copy that token, or how if we want to add a worker plus a manager now, because that token was specific to a worker only, that can't be used for a manager. So how you can do that? You can run docker swarm join dash token manager. It will give you token which would be used for a node to join as a manager. You can run docker swarm join dash token worker. It will give you token which a worker can join. Like with that token, worker can join in the cluster. After that, we have talked about how to create a cluster, how to add nodes, but the main thing is swarm cluster management. Managing a cluster is one of the regular tasks, and admin need to have understanding of the states of swarm and its management commands. So there are two things which we have to understand. One is column availability. This column tells whether or not the scheduler can assign tasks to the node. Scheduler is basically manager, can assign the task to node or not. So the possible states are active. Active means scheduler can assign tasks to the node. Other state is pause. Pause means scheduler don't assign any new tasks to the node, but whatever the existing tasks running on that particular node, they will stay running. Next state is drain. As word describe, scheduler don't assign any new tasks to that particular node. Existing services will be moved to the other healthy nodes. In which scenarios we have to do drain? Let's say you got some maintenance planned on your system. Let's say that's a physical system that got some memory degraded or hard drive replacement. You want to power off that server. You can drain the services, so automatically whatever service is running on that particular node will move to other healthy nodes. So in those scenarios, drain will help. Pause is something, let's say you are doing some activity, you don't want any new or extra load on that particular host, so you can pause that machine. It will be not getting any new scheduling request on it. So these are the availability state. Next state is about manager. That's a manager status column. It tells if no value, that indicates worker node that does not participate in swarm management. Basically, that's not a manager. Leader, as I mentioned, in a multi-manager configuration, one node can act as leader. It will tell, okay, this particular node is leader, which is making all the decisions at present. The other managers would be available or reachable, but they will be not acting or taking decisions. In case leader dies, then the next manager server can take role of leader, but only one leader at one time. Next manager status is reachable. Reachable means node is a manager node and it's participating in the Raft Consensus Algorithm. So it's a manager, but it's not a leader. Unavailable, node is designated as a manager, but it is not able to communicate with other managers. Maybe it got some network connectivity issue or some other issue. So let me give a quick demo about these particular things, then we will go to management commands. Okay, I'm on manager node now. First, I will tell you how you can check the tokens, which will be used for other node to join as manager and worker. So join swarm join dash token manager. It's docker swarm join dash token space manager. It will tell us this is a token or this is a complete command which you can copy paste on a node which you want to get the cluster joined as manager. If you want to token for a node to join as a worker, you have to use term worker. It will tell you this is the token. You can see token values are different. So there is a separate token for worker, separate token for manager. So you have to just copy paste the thing. If you don't remember whole syntax, just copy and paste. If you run same command on a worker node, what will happen? It will not give you output. It will complain that it's a worker node. It's not a manager. So it can't give you information. So that's a role of manager. Let me quickly talk about states. So docker node ls tells us states. You can see availability for all three is right now active. Like this is manager, node 1, node 2. Manager is also acting as a worker. So active mean they are ready for any scheduling, any new job or any new request come, they can host those particular components or they can work on those requests. So active. Manager status. So only first node, which is manager, got leader here, means it is managing everything. Node 1, node 2 are empty. You can see here they are empty. Basically, they are not manager. So they are not performing or contributing any management tasks. So that's a way you can check what is the configuration, which node is manager, which node is leader, which node is only acting as a worker. So let me go to slide where I can explain the management commands quickly. In the management commands, I have listed most frequently used management commands for Swarm cluster. First one is docker node update dash availability drain and the node name, or you can specify node ID. This particular command updates the state of manager or worker node. Drain, as I mentioned, drain is one of the state. If you see here, state is drain, pause active. You can choose any state. With drain, it will update the state to drain. Docker node promote. Basically, this command promote a worker to a manager. Docker node demote, then the node ID or node name. This particular command demotes a node from manager to a worker only. Docker node update dash label dash add, then whatever label you want. This is key value system and the node where you want to set value. Labeling is good when you want to tell, okay, this is my production setup, environment is equal to production, owner is equal to this one, and when it was built, what is the role of this particular cluster. You can mention everything, like who is contact person, who is the owner. So you can add multiple tags or labels. Docker swarm leave. With this command, the node leaves the cluster. It leaves the cluster, but you have to delete it from cluster configuration, which you have to do from the manager node, docker node rm and the node. And this leave command, docker swarm leave, you have to run on the node itself, which you want to get leave the cluster. So let me quickly give you a demo. Okay, so right now all the three nodes availability is active. So let's drain one of the server. So docker node update availability drain, and let's say we want to drain this particular server. This command is finished. You can specify host name, which is node 2, or you can specify the ID. This command accepts both. So let's check the state now quickly. You can see this particular node is in drain state. It means nothing new scheduling will happen on this particular node. And let's say instead of drain, you want to make it active again. So you can use keyword active. This is the way like how you change the states. You can see it's active again. Another command which is docker node promote. Let's say we want to promote node 1 as a manager. So docker node promote node 1. You can see the message node 1 promoted to a manager in the swarm. You can see it's reachable. Reachable mean that's availability state. That's a manager state. It's reachable mean it is part of management, but it is not leader. It's reachable. It can become leader when this leader dies due to some reason. So you can see this particular node is leader. This is reachable mean it's a manager, but it's not leader. Here state is active. So it is also acting as worker, which is default way. And let's say we want to demote this particular node. We don't want it to be manager more. So you can again demote. Instead of node name, this time I will be using node ID. So it will make more sense. Like you can use node ID also. You can see manager, this particular denoted to in the swarm cluster. So reachable status is gone. So it is no more manager. How to add labels? Let me show you. Okay, let me show you this output first, which is docker node inspect node 1 in pretty format. You can see right now there are no labels at all. You can see the output. It is having no label. So let me add label. I'm adding label environment is equal to dev on node 1. This command is finished. So let's check. And here somewhere you will see, okay, you can see here labels are added. So you can add multiple labels. That is good for identification, and that's a best practice to label all the resources. So that's good. Next thing, let's say we want a node to leave the cluster. Right now all the nodes are active. You can see here. And I want node 1 to leave the cluster. So on node 1 I will run command docker swarm leave. You can see node left the swarm. And let me check the status now. It will still show that node 1 is there and active. But scheduling will not happen because from that node, that node requested I want to leave, and request was accepted. So what we have to do, we have to remove that particular node from the swarm configuration. So you can run command docker node rm and the node 1, press enter. That node is gone. Let's check the config now. You can see only one manager and one node. How to get a node rejoin the cluster? So simply you can generate the token docker swarm join token worker. So this is the token which you need to put on a node which you want to join the cluster. So we are going to add node 1 back again. I've just copy pasted the command, pressing enter. This node joined the swarm as a worker. So let's check whether it joined or not. You can see node back again, node 1. It was gone earlier. So that's the way, guys, you can perform the management. In the next video, guys, we are going to talk about Docker Swarm Services, which is the key component, which is the main or you can say heart of whole swarm, because that's the whole purpose of running swarm, to manage the services. So stay tuned for next video. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any query, any suggestion, just leave a comment on my YouTube channel. Thank you, guys.